what's up? It's Joe Raiti from Raiti's Rides, and I am back here at Subaru of Port Richey. You know, my good buddy Spencer, I've been trying to figure out what are some things that maybe would be good footage for you guys, that maybe answer some questions. And I think probably the biggest question that I have ever received from anybody, even before I started Raiti's Rides, when I used to own my different Subaru STIs over the years, why not just get a WRX? Why spend the $10,000 or so more and go the STI route? Are you spending 10 grand on just some different wheels and a bigger spoiler? So the light bulb went off my head. I said, I'm gonna take advantage of this great partnership that I have with Subaru of Port Richey and my buddy Spencer, and we're gonna break it down. Tom and I are gonna break it down for you. What are you exactly getting for that extra $10,000? Because if you are that true enthusiast, if you want the ultimate in what Subaru offers performance-wise, technology-wise, styling-wise, you're definitely gonna see what those differences are here, right now, and that's what we're gonna start off with. So what I have behind me are a pair of two Subaru WRX 2018s. WRX and the STI. So both of them are 2018s, and I'm not going to get into the whole history of Subaru and all that kind of stuff, because if you're watching this video, you are thinking about maybe buying that WRX or that STI, or maybe you're just curious yourself. Why spend 10 grand more? So let's go off and start right at the front end of the business, the front of the car. So we're going to start with the STI because that is the top dog in the Subaru lineup. You can see for 2018, they went with the redesigned front end of the car. Obviously, one easy way to see the difference is going to be that STI logo. Now, there are people that have WRXs that put STI logos on their WRX, but from the factory, it comes with this logo. Did you pay 10 grand for this logo? No. You'll see there's a lot more. Now, with the STI, you're going to get full adaptive LED headlights. These are going to turn with the steering wheel, very bright, really gives it an aggressive look. With the STIs, because Subaru said this light is bright enough, there is no fog light down here. So some people hate it, some people love the styling of these fake vents. Now, if you notice that they do have holes in them, but those do not lead to any kind of brake cooling or anything like that. It's for aerodynamic purposes and noise, because remember, when these cars enter the country, when they're tested and whatnot, they can only make so much noise with the car, and a lot of that can be handled by adding some extra aerodynamic holes in the front end of the car. But when it comes to an STI, when you see this, you know automatically this is an STI because it doesn't have the lower fog lights from the factory on the front end of the car. Let's go ahead and take a look at the WRX. So here's a 2018 WRX. This one, obviously, same restyle front end. Somebody who owned this prior changed the logo to a pink color. It is what it is. That's what people like to do, put their own personality and touch into it. You can see how this one has the fog lights down here. What's funny is a lot of people think that this is more attractive. So even though you're going the cheaper route with the WRX, you may think that this is more attractive route to go on the front of the car. You can see how the headlights are a little bit different. These are not full LEDs. They don't have the same backing when it comes to the reflective material, so that's going to change the look. The STI headlight has that dark background, which you saw when we first looked at the STI. Now, other than that, from the front of the car, everything else is the same. Let's go ahead and check out the sides of these cars. All right, guys, here we are standing next to the 2018 black silica, that beautiful sparkling color here in the sun, STI. We're gonna show you now on the side of the car what is gonna be different. So let's start right here with the front wheel. On the STI, compared to the WRX, you're going to get a 19-inch wheel. Remember, that's 19-inch from top to bottom. You're also going to have, sneaking behind these wheels, are the rotors. They're cross-drilled and fully ventilated. That is an upgrade over the WRX. Check out the huge, first time ever on an STI for 2018, 6-piston Brembo calipers. No Brembo calipers on the WRX. That's going to be the main change here. Obviously, there's going to be an STI logo instead of a WRX logo, so that kind of makes sense. No, we're still not up to This is why the car is more than $10,000. Lurking behind this fender is going to be suspension pieces. So this car has totally different suspension setup when it comes to the shocks and everything compared to the WRX. It's there for greater performance. Let's go ahead and work our way down the side. This is all same, whether you're going WRX or STI route, all same, until we come back here. The STI from the factory comes with the big wing. This is fully functional. Now there are a lot of WRX owners that like to add the wing on there. To each their own. I kind of think it's a little sacrilege, you know, to add this on here. But this is something that when it comes to STIs, even when you go back to those early years, the Bug Eyes back in 2002, when you go to the 2004 Blob Eye STIs, they all had the big wings. So that's going to differentiate it from the WRX. Speaking of the WRX, let's go ahead and check out what it looks like from the side. All right, guys, it's time for the WRX. We're going to start right on the front end of the business here. This is new for 2018, and when I keep saying 2018, it's basically the same car as a 2019. So for 2018, they came out with an updated wheel. I really love the style of the wheel. This is an 18-inch wheel, so you're looking at 1 inch smaller diameter size compared to the STI. You can see we're running just a traditional caliper setup that's been painted red. This is not a Brembo product, and that is another area where right off the bat, there's a difference in performance between the Brembo calipers, 6-piston, and these standard calipers that come on the WRX. Like I said before, lurking behind the fender is going to be different suspension pieces, shocks and whatnot, where it's more on the performance side. WRX is no slouch. This isn't about saying this is a slouch and that isn't. This is still a performance car, but it's just not at that high end of the pinnacle of performance, but it's still very performance oriented. You can see, like I was telling you, the WRX logo, this owner put a pink overlay on it. No big deal, probably something that they wanted, add a little touch, but that's where you're gonna see the WRX logo. And like I showed you before, same greenhouse as the STI, and when you get to the back on the WRX, you have a nice kick-up spoiler. Now remember, you can get the spoiler delete on the STI and you would have the same exact kick-up trunk lid spoiler. It looks really clean, and I like the way it looks on the WRX. Very spot on, and it just enough to where it's not too aggressive. When it comes to the back of the car, both of these cars are identical besides the wing. That's the only difference. Tail lights, the exhaust, the diffuser, all of that is going to be the same. You can see that this owner debadged it, which means that they took all of the Subaru and WRX badges off of the back of the car. That's another thing that a lot of Subaru enthusiasts like to do, is they like to debadge it, cleans up the back of the car. But other than that, exactly the same except for the rear wing. Let's go ahead and check out underneath the hood, because that's where we're going to see some big differences. All right, guys, we got the hoods popped. Let's check out the differences underneath the hood. We're going to start with the STI. If you've seen STIs before, there's nothing really new here. There's that EJ motor, that's that 2.5 liter turbocharged engine, 305 horsepower. Both of these have a top mount intercooler. That's why you have the functional scoop. You could see on the STI, larger intercooler, larger intake plenum. That's gonna help with airflow. Now, when it comes to mods, trust me, there are people taking the WRX, running it on E85, doing a bunch of different mods. We're just talking stock to stock, 305 horsepower, 0 to 60 with the proper feet and the proper right hand, you're gonna look at around 4.9 seconds, 0 to 60. What I do like about underneath the engine, devoid of all plastic. So you don't have a bunch of plastic covering everything, but this is basically the same motor that's been around since 2004 when the STI first came to our shores. Another thing for 2019, remember there's a 5 horsepower increase. This is a 2018 305. New ones have 310. They have some changed up pistons. They have a revised third gear on the gearbox, and then also that remapping of the computer. Now that we've seen the STI motor, let's go check out that WRX. All right, guys, here we are underneath the hood of the WRX. Here's another big change. This is a 2 liter direct injected turbocharged motor This is the FA motor. It's putting out around 263 horsepower. You could see that right off the bat, there's a little bit more plastic, smaller intercooler, still functional air scoop just like the STI, just the amount of air is coming down on a smaller intercooler. This engine has been revised with the right feet and correct right hand working all that pedals and gears. You're gonna look at 0 to 60 in about 5.1, 5.2 seconds. Still both cars have all-wheel drive, still both cars have 6-speed manual transmissions, but this is gonna be the major difference between underneath the hood of the WRX and the STI. Another thing that the WRX has that's different from the STI is equal length headers. So if you're hoping for that boxer rumble when you put that axle back exhaust on this car or turbo back exhaust, you're not gonna get it with the WRX. You only get that with the STI because it has unequal length headers coming off that engine. Both of these are flat fours, turbocharged boxer engines. We say boxer because the pistons are going side by side by little punching gloves. Now that we checked out underneath the hood, let's see what's lurking inside because there's some differences in there. All right guys, I'm inside this Subaru WRX STI. Let's start with some differences. Let's start with the door panels. Right off the bat, on the door panels on the STI, you're gonna have that Alcantara with that pinkish reddish contrast stitching. That's that whole STI color. Remember, STI stands for Subaru Technica International. If you look on the door panel as well, there's piano black. Piano black here on the dash coming off the door panel. On the WRX, it still has that faux carbon fiber like the STI did going back to 2015. These are the standard STI seats. Alcantara with leather on the bolstering. The WRX does not have that on the standard seats. I like the STI embossed logo on the headrest. Obviously that's going to separate you from the WRX. And on the STI in 2018 you get red seat belts. Now what's interesting is on a car like a Porsche 911, this is like an $800 option if you could believe that one. Here's the other major difference when it comes to STI compared to WRX. You're gonna get a 6-speed manual transmission. The transmission in the STI, much stronger, much heavier duty, and it's all about that ultimate performance. Very short throws, very crisp when it engages into gear, but it is not the same transmission. This transmission is better, and it's worth its weight in gold compared to the WRX's transmission. I just like the little nice things that they add with the STI logo that lights up at night. Just a little nice feature. Here's another major difference. Now, on the WRX, you do get SI drive. So you have Sport, Sport Sharp, and then Intelligent for when you're saving gas, which I don't know why you'd want to do that in this car, but okay. But then here's the other big piece of the puzzle when it comes to that $10,000. This allows you to control the center diff. So you have all-wheel drive just like in the WRX. You have a center diff that's electronically controlled that you can put into auto and have the computer take care of it for you, or you could put it in a manual and then you could send more power to the front or more power to the rear. That is technology that came from the World Rally Championship Series. That's stuff that they developed over time and time, and it's tried and true that you're not going to get in a WRX. Here's another little thing. It's the little things that make a big difference, even the big things. Even something as simple as a cup holder cover. In the STI, you have this cover. In the WRX, you do not. This is actually totally different in the WRX, which we're going to show you. I'm going to have Tom come swing around and show you the dash in the STI so that you can see some of the differences that I just mentioned. I'll see you in a second. All right, guys, I'm behind the wheel of the STI. Not a lot of differences when it comes to steering wheel. Besides, right here, you get the piano black treatment with the STI logo on the steering wheel. Both steering wheels are flat bottom, same design. Check out this center area of the dash. You see where it says C diff and it's in auto right now? This is what I was telling you just a moment ago where some of that money is going, that computer controlled center diff. It's an electronic diff. Right now it's in auto. That means the computer's controlling it, but check it out. You put it in manual and you could actually adjust, even to the point where you could lock out both diffs. That is special to the STI. That allows you to go through the snow, the gravel, the dirt like a World Rally champion. Other than that, gauges are pretty much the same except for a nice little STI logo that lights up and reminds you, hey, you're in the pinnacle of Subaru Motorsports rally technology. But other than that, same affair when it comes to the WRX, even down to the beautiful aluminum pedals. I really like the aluminum pedals that they use in the STI and the WRX. Perfect for heel-toe downshifting. I mean, perfect every single time. They even have a nice aluminum dead pedal. It's just those extra touches. Like I say, sometimes the small things add up to a nice big picture. Speaking of big picture, let's go check out that WRX. All right, guys, we're inside the Subaru WRX. Let's start with the door panel. Now, what's nice is that this is a higher option WRX. So you're gonna have nice black leather with that contrast stitching, nice leather armrest. Remember, in the STI, that was Alcantara material. Here's what I was telling you. Here's that faux carbon fiber. It looks sort of real, but it's not. It's faux. Some people like that just regular piano black. That's real popular, like in the Volkswagen Golf GTI and the Golf R. Now, you're probably saying, hold on a second, Joe, that's Alcantara and leather. Yes, this one has the performance option, so it's gonna have the Recaro seat. So this is actually an STI stock seat bottom, Alcantara and leather, and then it has the Recaro back. This is an option on the STI for 2018 as well. I do like the style of the Recaro. It does have some extra bolstering, but still not as much as, say, like a Ford Focus RS, the one that I have parked right over there. Here's another big difference. Remember how I was telling you the nice cup holder cover, no cover. It's kind of a harder plastic, cheaper looking plastic, and there's no SI drive and no center diff control. So this is where the money, you say, hey, why does a Subaru STI cost 10 grand more? That's a big part of the puzzle right there. 6-speed transmission, as you can see, I don't know if you can tell, I feel it right away. The throws in this are a lot longer. Are they like rowing a boat? No, they're not that long a throw, but they are. I mean, this first to second, that's very long. Compared to that STI, short throw shifter, and that bulletproof gearbox, I have heard of some people having issues with these gearboxes, especially those turning up the wick, adding the E85, changing out the fuel injectors and all that kind of stuff. So just know that sometimes when you add more go, stock parts are gonna break. With the STI, it's more heavy duty, it's more to take that abuse. So that's another route you may think about doing. Other than that, same affair, just like with the STI. I'm gonna have Tom come on over and I'll show you the business end in front of the steering wheel here, and we'll get ready to wrap this one up. All right, guys, so I'm inside the WRX. You can see right off the bat, same style steering wheel. It has no piano black on it, so it just has a regular flat black on the edge of the steering wheel here. When it comes to the gauges, like I said, the biggest difference is going to be in the center here. There's no electronic diff control. There's no SI drive. It's just standard all-wheel drive turbocharged affair. They still did a nice job on the gauges. They didn't go cheap on the gauges. You can see the wonderful readings on the tachometer and the speedometer. But other than that, that's the major difference, is that power control over the mapping of the engine with the sport sharp, and that intelligent mode. And then of course that electronic diff, which if you are going to do anything in the snow performance-wise, or dirt or gravel, that really pays back dividends. As you can see, same pedals as the STI down there. So that's the great news, is you're getting the same great pedals, same great placement. You can blip the throttle very easily, just like a pro, and it's really just a comfortable experience, a fun experience when you're driving these cars. If you're ready, I'm ready to wrap this one up. All right, guys, it's been one hot hell of a day here at Subaru Port Richey. Big shout out to Spencer and everybody here for allowing me, Tom, all of you with Raiti's Rides, full access to these vehicles. I hope this was able to answer some of your questions. That $10,000 question, why does an STI cost about $10,000 more than a WRX? I hope I was able to point out the things that you wanted to see. If these are the types of things you like to see on Raiti's Rides, leave a comment in that comment section. If you have not hit subscribe yet, listen, join the journey. I got daily uploads every single day, quality videos, variety for everybody. So definitely hit that subscribe button. If you are a subscriber, thank you for being on this journey with me. I'm so grateful for your support. the community we have here on Raiti's Rides, the family we have here on Raiti's Rides. I love hearing the comments. I love hearing people helping out one another. And I just love the extra support. And it just helps motivate Tom and I to just keep this thing going and keep growing it all the way to the top. Sky's really the limit. If you have not checked out my Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter pages, all Raiti's Rides original content all the time, I definitely want to give a huge shout out to Tom, Big Guns McGee Moshner, working the camera. He's out here in this heat. He's going to go back to the gym. I just picked him up at the gym. Then he wants me to drop him back off at the gym to lift more weights. He's getting ready for his big competition. So definitely, Tom, thank you for all your help. I know all the viewers love your handy camera work, bringing those great angles. Another great piece of information, we got a whole new merch store coming through Spreadshirt, so stay tuned for that information. Hoodies, jackets, hats, all Raiti's Rides stuff, so get ready for that. I thank you for your support, and like always, I'll see you on the next ride.